Hi, my name is Infiniti Whitley, aka 5'6" in finance, and I am a field underwriter in the state of Missouri. I am here to talk to you guys about 5 solid reasons to get life insurance. Before we begin, if you're watching this on YouTube, I ask that you go ahead and subscribe so you can get these tidbits. I try to post them weekly on Sundays at 3 p.m. CST. If you're watching this on Facebook, also go ahead and like the page because you never know, I might be your future insurance agent. Alright, let's get into this video because Lord knows, there's nothing really exciting about insurance, and a lot of times people get really worked up when you sit up and talk about, the mortal coil, so to speak. So anyway, today I want to give you guys 5 solid reasons to get life insurance. And of course, you want to be able to speak from authority. So of course, I am insured, and I've been insured for a long time because I want to insulate my family against anything. If you want to know more about my background, you can go back and watch those videos on the channel or on the page. They're there. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to talk about what everybody thinks about when they think life insurance, and that is death benefit, face amount, final expense coverage. Okay, so according to the National Funeral Directors Association in 2023, the average funeral costs $8,300. And to draw it into an anecdote, in my case, I came from a family that didn't have a lot. So, if anything were to happen to any one of us, nobody had anything to really put anybody away. And so, that became even more real of a concept when my mother passed a couple years ago. And she had a small policy, a small permanent whole life policy that it did pay out, obviously, but we realized that she wanted to be cremated, and that was kind of costly. And so we ended up having to pull out of retirement accounts to pay for her cremation. And so if you don't want to put your family in that kind of situation, say if you want a full funeral or whatever, those tend to be more costly than a cremation. You don't want to put them in a spot where they possibly have to take out loans or anything, or put themselves in a detrimental spot to be able to lay you to rest, basically. Just being real. So again, small permanent policies, or, a decent permanent policy, whatever the case may be for that, is ideal for covering final expenses. Something else that I've brought up in previous videos is about estate building or leaving an inheritance. So the thing is with life insurance, that especially the products that I specialize in between mortgage protection and regular life, they make whoever your beneficiary is, they get paid out. Not the bank, not the lenders, not the creditors. Your family gets paid out. And so it's an easy kind of tax-free way to start building up wealth for your survivors. So again, I did mention that, in one of my previous videos that, again, my mom left behind a minor child. Well, when the policy paid out, hey, they got set up, with a little bit of inheritance. Like, obviously, people would rather have that person in their lives, but none of us live forever. And so it's kind of a nice gesture or nice token to your family or loved ones after your passing that, hey, I cared enough to leave something behind for you, even though I'm no longer here to enjoy it with you. I also mentioned in a previous video that death benefits that are paid out from policies tend to be tax-free. If they're not an investment grade life policy, it's just straight life with a face value, regular level face value, they don't tax you on that as the beneficiary. So again, that's a big bonus because they don't have to already go through all that while they're grieving for you. And it also gives them the opportunity to be able to do things, whatever they need to do. So whether it was like final expenses for you, or if they had like some big bill, or in my case, I was still in college when my mom passed, so that helped me get textbooks and pay some of my tuition and survive for a while after she passed. Cover large debts. Okay, so here is where I have my level of expertise in mortgage protection insurance, okay? Which again is a form of life insurance. It's always a form of life insurance. So if you just went and bought a house, or you just went and got a fancy car because you were excited, and then you for whatever reason pass away or become severely disabled or something like that, because some policies do have living benefits, but that's another story for another day. Something like that happens, especially in this economy, who the heck can take on a full mortgage payment if something happens to the owner of the house, right? I know I can't. So, that would be a really good instance where you would want to have a policy in force in the event that something happens to you, God forbid again. But say you got a $350,000 loan out on a property and you've been paying for it for a couple of months or whatever, but then something happens, you pass away, and maybe your spouse, it was a stay-at-home spouse, or they weren't the primary breadwinner, or you left behind kids that might be like 18 or 17 or something like that, and they're just trying to get into their adult life. They don't know what to do with that. And that leaves them scrambling and in an awkward, horrible position. And so, again, where mortgage protection is concerned, that's why you have me and other agents reaching out to discuss these options with families, because a lot of times they think that the private mortgage insurance that they got through their lender is going to help their family, when it won't. So, again, this helps people to have time to breathe and still be able to make the mortgage payments until they decide whether they want to refinance, or if they want to sell, or if they want to rent, or what they want to do with that property, or as it pertains to regular debts, pay off the debts. Again, anecdotal, my mom left behind a lot of debt, not gonna lie. And, it took years for them to finally stop sending different bill notices to pay off, which would have been nice if we would have had more coverage. And so that's always something that you want to keep in mind, so that your loved ones don't have to, defer to slave labor to pay off your debts. Number 4, which I kind of touched on this, number 4 is replacing your income. Okay, so again, if you are the primary breadwinner of the household, or between you and the beneficiary, if you're gone, your income's gone. And whoever you leave behind is up crap creek without a paddle, and you don't want to leave them swimming in that. So, sorry for the visualization, but again, life insurance is a way to insulate yourself and your loved ones from having to deal with that in the future. And again, going through probate and things like that is never a fun time for anybody involved. Okay, and something really cool about life insurance policies is that permanent life insurance policies tend to have cash value that grows over time. So part of your premium funds the policy, and then funds the cash value of the policy rather, and then the other part of it, it grows tax deferred. Pretty cool, right? And so in a lot of cases, insurance policies have this baked in where you can borrow against the face value of the policy in a bind. So, again, I have a family member that became disabled, had renal failure, and thank God they had a life insurance policy in place, because in those beginning years, and this was a long time ago, in those first few years or whatever, where they were transitioning from a working life to being on disability, there were some things that came up where they had to borrow against the face value of the policy, and they were able to do that and able to course correct and things like that, and eventually they did pay off that loan on the policy, and they are still covered. But that is something that you want to sit down and discuss with your individual life insurance agent or broker. All right, so those were 5 solid reasons to get life insurance. If you're not insured today or you're not sure about it, reach out to an agent or a broker. I'm also a broker, woo. Reach out to somebody, discuss your options, shop around, figure out what's going to work best for you and your family. Even if you're a single person, again, I spoke earlier too, if your family members have the means to put you away or not, or deal with any of your assets or liabilities when you're gone, that's something you want to consider as well, even if you don't have a family at the moment. If you want to review your options for either mortgage protection or life insurance, you can reach out to me if you are a resident of Missouri. I'm only licensed in Missouri, y'all. I love y'all, but I can only write insurance in the state of Missouri, and you have to be located in the state of Missouri. So if you're interested in reviewing those options, you can reach out to me via my website, which is linked in the description box below if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching this on Facebook, hit me up via the link in my bio and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can, because again, I love to help my fellow Missourians protect their families. All right. Hopefully that was great for y'all. I'm gonna head off of here and talk to some other wonderful people today. Stay blessed, and I'll see you next time.